So yeah, I just did my Friday morning run. I guess it's really my first morning run, really, because I never want to leave this early, but I was up, so again, I felt like it, so I just kind of went. And yeah, again, not so bad. It was a little bit cold, so I think it was like the hike. I could feel my breathing struggle a little bit because it was like 6, 7 degrees or something when I started, and I wore like a jacket, which is like a little sweaty after, but I think it was just enough because it was also kind of windy. I guess this time I just knew I was doing it, and doesn't mean it's less of a struggle, but I was also trying to like relax into it a little bit more. I think that's maybe the goal now, ultimately, is to like raise my level of, I don't know, arousal or energy without feeling more stressed. I think we can hold those two things together at the same time. I think one of the reasons why I start thinking a lot after these workouts or at the end of it is probably because that's what I do when I'm stressed at work or stressed in the rest of my life. Like my brain kind of goes into this analyzing fighting mode. I guess it makes sense because it's like fight or flight, but I guess it's like in a mental, emotional way of fighting instead. So that's a little weird, I guess. Yeah. When I'm running, I have to like move my body so that it does something, but I have to like learn to shut off my mind and just be like, stop, you can't really do anything in this situation. Why are you thinking about these things? Like it's not important. We'll see when the next run is. I'm trying to do at least 2 a week, Thursdays and Fridays, and maybe Sundays. I'll try to throw that in as well. Okay, so I don't want to like have to talk every time after I run, but I do want to log it. The time, so I left at about 10, and I guess now it's like 10:36, around that time. Or I guess I based it off of my stove, which says, yeah, 10:36. So I just want to note that down so I can track my progress. Yay! Test, 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 mic, mic, mic. Okay, let's see how this goes. I keep trying to make these like little explainer whiteboard videos, but when I put it beside me, it just like doesn't really work. So I'm just gonna try this whole desktop thing here. So this is like, you know, some kind of spectrum. I guess for me right now, it's like 4 energy. And I guess the way I see it is like, here you're basically like, I guess you're dead or you're unconscious, like you're not really doing anything. And if you're kind of like lazing around, you're kind of like in this range. And I think I sit somewhere like around here. which is like not great. I do think I'm generally like a low energy person. And my like range is basically like going to sleep like over here. And then here is sort of like when I'm like active, meaning I like walk or, I can do a hike or something. But when I have to like actually do something physical, like I guess I played tennis for a little while, but when I have to do something hard, I don't have nearly as much energy as other people. So this is sort of like my current range here. Obviously, I want to like move this up so that I'm kind of more in the middle range here. And that would be nice, right? So then that means like this whole block also slides up. I guess I still have to sleep. Then maybe this is still sleep, maybe I'll sleep better in some way, but then I can like do more, do bigger hikes, or, do longer runs, right? And I can do all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And just for comparison here, I know some people that are kind of more over here. Like their default is like so active. And they seem like they just have like endless energy all the time. These are like, I don't know, the high energy people, right? It's like, must go. And so they have to like basically burn off their energy because they're just like constantly at this range. So at least I can feel like I have energy to do stuff after work or take on work that maybe I don't like, or have more energy to build stuff and make videos or make things that I'd rather do. I think there's like another part to this, because for these people who are like so high energy, I've also noticed they have like a hard time actually calming down. So for me, it's like I have the opposite problem, which is I have a hard time like pushing myself. I can do it when it comes to intellectual work, or when I'm sitting and I'm working and coding programs or reading and writing and stuff. I can push myself, but that doesn't require like a lot of physical energy. It's kind of like just all up in, you can't see it, but I'm pointing to my head. I also kind of like want to extend my range. If that makes any sense. So maybe this isn't like sleep or being unconscious. Maybe sleep is down here. But I also want to be able to be like calm. So if you are able to like increase your output, you can spin your wheels faster. Like you can do more, but it's also like very energy intensive, and your momentum can just be like crazy. Like it's literally like driving a car. If you're just constantly on the gas, like you gotta swerve out of the way. You have to like run through stoplights, and it can be dangerous like really quickly, right? But at the same time, if you can brake, you can like slow down and be like more intentional. I have too much of a brake pedal. Like I can't seem to like ramp up. So this is why I'm doing all of this running, to hopefully bump this up. And I do feel it. I start to feel it pick up, like my body's a little bit more capable. I don't like hesitate when I want to go run. I just kind of just go do it, because somehow I feel like I just can do it. And the faster I get it over with, the easier it is for me to do as well. But in terms of extending this range, I do want to be able to like do something hard. Not as hard as like some other people do. Like my friend that I went hiking with, he like, and some other friends, they do like some really extreme stuff. Like they will actually go all the way up like a mountain with a pack with skis in it. And then they'll like, I can't draw skiing apparently, but they will like ski down the thing. And that is crazy. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that. I guess I'm planning at the end of summer to do a longer hike, which, I don't know, ranges from like 6 to 9 hours, which is pretty long. I was pushed to do one a couple years ago when some of my friends were like bringing me to hiking, and then they were like, oh, this one's fine, it's like 6 hours, and then it took me 9 hours because I was so slow and I needed so many breaks. But somehow I still managed to do them. It wasn't enjoyable while I was struggling and suffering. So I'd like to be able to do something like that again, maybe in like end of summer, like August, September. Yeah, where I can do it without struggling so hard. Yeah, it's good to like bump yourself up, but I think it's good to have both. Only when you have a proper gas and a brake pedal, then you can properly control your car. But if you're kind of stuck in either mode, well, you don't really have really good control. You're just either in high energy mode or low energy mode. I guess the idea with all of this is to be able to move between them freely and have that capacity and capability to do so. Yeah.
This train is for Waterfront.
So I'm in downtown. There's, I guess, an Iranian protest or something, rally. And yeah, I wanted to try this tracking and walking thing while I was outside. It's a little off. Hold on. Anyways, I'm going to a meetup right now, and it's for The Matrix, which is one of my favorite movies, and it has been for a while. But now that I've watched it again for the fourth time, I think, it hits differently. I guess every time I watch it, it's like I understand it in a different kind of way. Because the first time, obviously, it was just like I was 14 or something, so it was just kind of cool and mind-blowing, and you know, all the what we would call memes now, like, you know, I know kung fu. Or after the second, third time rewatching it, I understood it was more about kind of like believing in yourself and escaping from some sort of fictional world in a way. And I also understood eventually, like, the Wachowski brothers became the Wachowski sisters, and a lot of people thought that, you know, the narrative was sort of like their way of talking about, you know, transitioning and leaving behind one identity and then being reborn into a second one. I guess that works for a lot of things. A lot of people just think it's just basically a rehash of the Bible and Jesus and stuff, which there is a lot of that in the movie as well. But this time that I watched it again, and in this journey that I'm currently on, it actually more reminds me of like society in general. But the truth is like we're already sort of constantly plugged into the matrix. Like every time you open YouTube or like social media or any kind of media or any kind of influencer, any kind of content, that is like the matrix. Like the economy, the jobs, and all of that, it's like a system, and we're all plugged into the system, and we believe how the system works, and that, you know, if you act a certain way and you believe a certain thing, you dress a certain way, then you're a good person, you're attractive, you know, you're a wanted, desired person. And if you don't, if you had the wrong job, if you have the wrong clothes, the wrong car, so on and so forth, and you're like not the right kind of person. And I guess that's more what I see the Matrix as now. Like, we are able to invent ourselves or reinvent ourselves, but we're like brought up in this world where there's a lot of social rules. We don't even know that we inherit all of these things, and they form like literally, it's called a mental model, but it's like your version of reality based off how you grew up and how other people treated you and the rules of the world that you absorbed. So I think that we have to like learn to give up those rules, and that's what the movie's about, right? Like Neo can stop bullets, or he doesn't have to once he actually believes, because all of the rules of the Matrix they're like just software. And I think of society in that way. We are like a system, but we can't like necessarily destroy or overturn the world because so many people follow these systems. But I do think like we can loosen up. We can understand that these rules and these systems are not like set in place. We're not fixed. These rules change constantly. Sometimes for the better and sometimes for the worse, and that's just how it is. But instead of like being the one, like all of us are capable of breaking these rules and being a different person. You can actually, like, I feel it, like when I try hard enough and when I meditate enough, I'm just like, yeah, none of these rules really matter. What am I actually afraid of? If nobody watches my videos, if they look a certain way, if they're not the right format, like, it doesn't really matter. That's how new things get created, by the people who just don't follow the existing rules, because rules are constantly reinvented and then readopted and reinterpreted and remixed and so on and so forth. So nothing is ever static. Nothing ever stays the same. So that's kind of how I interpret the Matrix now. And I think it's suitable. I think it's people talk about the Christian aspect of the Matrix, but it's actually a lot more Buddhist than we kind of realize. It's like a little bit of both, but yeah, nobody really talks about the Buddhist aspect of it. So yeah, just about here. So I'm gonna stop now. Peace out. And stop recording now. Is it gonna